We want you to win for you. We focus on making sure everyone in the process is well in tune with where we are in the process and what they need to do going forward to get this loan closed as quickly as possible.
Welcome back to another episode of Andy's Talk. Today I'm joined by a good friend of mine, Ben Clark. Ben, how are you doing today, man?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
Good. A lot of change recently for you, man.
Yeah, I know.
And more hole-in-ones. I want to talk about that before we talk about anything else. I know you're a real humble guy, but talk about it. Third one, right?
Yep, just got my third hole in one. I was playing Covered Bridge men's league on Thursday nights.
Hole 3?
Hole 3. Yep.
Is that where another one of yours was too? Or is that your first one on hole 3?
That was the third one on hole 3. That's the only one I've had there. So I've had one at Valley View, one at Champions Point, and one at Covered Bridge.
The hat trick, man.
Yeah, I know.
Set it up for me. What were the first 2 holes? Like, were you're feeling yourself, or were the bad first 2 holes and the third was just like a...
We were playing a scramble, actually, and we had just parred a par 4. So if you're in a scramble, playing a 9-hole scramble, you need to make a par and a par 4. You're kind of
That's not good.
You're like, all right, because especially at Covered, you're kind of like, all right, you got a birdie majority of the holes. So we just parred one. I think it was hole 2, actually, yeah. And so when I hold that out, it was kind of like got us back on track, you know? But obviously it was meant a lot more than that.
Were you with a group of people that like are good friends, or was it random people like...
No, it was good friends.
Did you guys go crazy?
Yeah, one of my best friends, and then a couple of my other really good buddies. So yeah, it was kind of hooping and hollering and stuff. I will say though, the second one, the first one I dunked it at a hole 5 at Valley View. The second one was the most special because we were playing the Member Guest Tournament, which is the biggest tournament of the year. And it was the first swing, I think it was hole 15 at Champions Point, that little downhill par 3. And first swing of the golf tournament, like dead first swing of the tournament, 2-day tournament, right in. And we ended up winning that golf tournament. So it's kind of cool. But anyway.
All right, well, let's get into the good stuff here. Tell me, where'd you go to high school? Where are you from? Tell me a little bit about your family, and then we'll get into the business. So
for sure. So born and raised Greenville, Indiana. Lived off the corner of Old Vincent's Buttontown, across from Conkle Farm. Worked over there when I was growing up, and went to Floyd Central High School. Graduated there in 2009. Played golf at Floyd Central. And just recently moved out to Sellersburg. So I love Floyd County, Clark County area. I'll probably be here for the rest of my life.
Well, if you have 3 hole-in-ones, it's almost only fair that you live on a golf course. So that's what you had to make the move, you know.
Yeah, I do live at Covered Bridge, so that's nice.
So grew up local. What was like your first couple did you go to college? Did you work right out of high school? Like what was that transition period for you?
So I had the opportunity to play college golf, but I chose not to because I didn't want to be super in debt and really far behind financially coming out of college. So I went to IUS. I got business management and marketing degree, but I worked full time. So it took me like 7 years to get a 4-year degree, I guess. But I also was kind of struggling what I wanted to do. So I was kind of figuring like, what do I want to do, this, that. But I paid for my student loans as I went, and it allowed me to get out of college like with minimal debt. So part of it was wish I would have ripped it off and just did it, but I also got a lot of experience in sales and customer service. So I think it gave me a leg up on that.
What was your first intro into the loan game?
So I was working with at that time I was working at DHL e-commerce as a regional sales manager, and I was traveling a ton. And I was away from my family probably every other week, living out of a suitcase in hotels. And I was like, man, I really need to find something. And I had a mentor, a mentor of mine. He had said, hey, man, like you could, do this to become a mortgage loan officer. And he started breaking it down. He's like, you work from home or work, at home in our area. And he was, at the time it was a commission-based. And I was like, okay, so I can still be in sales. I love numbers. And it had the instant gratification of helping somebody achieve, buying a home. Like there was an actual endpoint of satisfaction in that process. So I really enjoyed that, where my past jobs, there was a lot of very, very long sales cycles. And I wasn't a fan of it. So,
Okay, so now let's fast forward to where we are today. Foundation Home Loans, you're building this brand in the area. You got a couple cool things going, but what inspired you to take that step and be like, hey, me and my business partner, we're gonna do this. We're gonna build this cool brand. You want to bring awesome people on your team. So let's talk about that whole process.
Yeah, so really, really love and very, very excited about what we got going on. So yeah, we started Foundation Home Loans back in February with Kyle, Craig, and Ronnie Eve, and we've grown from 3 to 11 really quickly. And I think a lot of our success that we've had so far directly comes from the culture we want to create. We want everyone to celebrate everyone's wins. And we've consistently focused on that. And I think our team and the people around us and in our industry, the real estate industry, see that we actually are genuine in it. It's not something like we're just putting a front on and being like, hey, work with us because of X, Y, and Z. You know, it's no like, look, we want you to win for you. Like we want you to better your situation in your financial life and financial freedom for you and your family. And we want to continue to grow that and bring more and more people on with that like-mindedness.
Yeah. Tell me about the chain. You got to tell people that they're going to see it at the closings. I wore it at my personal closing. By the way, I did use Ben to close on my house. Highly recommend it. Tell me about the chain.
I didn't pay him to plug that.
No, you didn't. No. It was free.
No, the chains, actually, I have to give credit to Kyle Craig on that. The turnover chain. So, you know, if you ever play football and you ever see like a defensive team get like an interception or a fumble recovery, they'll run to the sidelines and they got like a chain they'll put on as a celebration of a big victory. And we wanted to do something that we could do to celebrate with our borrowers at the closing table. And so we created a gold chain. So we do have a theme of like black and gold with our foundation home loans. And anyway, we have us and our clients put those gold chains on, just a way of being like, hey, you know, we made it. This was a long, strenuous process. We try not to make it that way, but it can be. And hey, we made it. Here's the finish line. Let's celebrate.
And that's the funny part too. Us and roofing, and you like nobody wakes up and's like, man, I can't wait to take 6 weeks or 12 weeks and close on this house and fill out pay. Like nobody's like, I want to wake up and buy a roof on a Wednesday. So it's like our jobs are to make that process as smooth as possible. And that's something we pride ourselves on here. But on your website, I noticed you guys talked about that exceptional customer service and that whole process. Tell me a little bit about what is it like working with you guys? What do you guys go above and beyond with as the customer service model?
So we focus on communication. I've been doing this for flirting with a decade now, and we started with the realtors because we deal with realtors on the buying and listing side a lot, and we are like, hey, what is the biggest pain point that you consistently run through or come to? Because when we go through the loan process, generally speaking, we don't have our borrowers, you know, out of decency and them being kind to us, they don't generally come back and be like, hey, I hated this, and this about the process. Like, I mean, you might get someone who's like, man, this really made me upset or whatever, and we can approach that and be like, okay, we'll be better on the next time. But when we talk to realtors, they told us like communication is the number one failure they run into consistently. So when we say exceptional customer service, we focus on making sure everyone in the process is well in tune with where we are in the process, what's expected of them, and what they need to do going forward to get this loan closed as quickly as possible. So we have automated emails that go out to realtors, to the borrowers, automated emails that go out to listings, and then also we have the personal touch. We have, we'll text message. My loan officer assistant and our processors will actually text if that's the desired point of communication. Yeah. So we have some people who are like, you know what, email me only. I'm like, cool, we'll email you. Put that personal touch. So anyway, we want to keep people in the loop. We don't want anybody at any point in time being like, what's next? What are we doing? So, I mean, there happens, but we want to limit that as much as possible.
Going to the website as well, you guys talk and kind of preach that competitive pricing model as well. What do you guys do different to get that better pricing? I assume, you're not this big box store, so it's easier for that. That seems pretty basic, but what else do you guys do? It's like, hey, we can get you the best pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 things to that. One, we don't have the overhead that these the big box stores you have, right? Because we're a broker. We are a representative of the borrower to the big national lenders. And basically, so we're currently signed up with 20 different lenders. All of them are good at different things. Some are good at, higher loan amounts, lower loan amounts, single wide, double wide manufactured homes, et cetera, condos, investment properties, et cetera. What allows us to get the best pricing is we create the competition among those lenders to us. So if you come off the street and you want to go work with one of those lenders, unfortunately, you're just one loan to them. Yeah. And they're only going to be so competitive. Versus with us, when we come to them, they see hundreds of loans. So they want to win our business more than they do you, just coming off the street trying to win their business generally, and they want to compete for us. So we generally will be able to have be able to compete against them and figure out who's good at what now and later. we can find, better rates, lower closing costs, et cetera.
Are they allowed to schmooze you like they do in medical sales? Do they ever send you guys stuff? Is that legal? Or like,
I mean, at most, they'll like to maybe take us to lunch and teach us something, know. But no, we don't get a whole lot of schmoozing. I wish we could do that. That'd be nice. Take me to some nice
if you
golf
want
courses.
their business,
Yeah.
schmooze this man.
Yes, please.
Hey, we got to give a roof away to a veteran, which is super cool. And so something that I was thinking about is like I hear all the time in the home buying process, the VA loan. What can you guys offer, and how does that work with a VA loan for people who are looking for that type of loan?
Absolutely.
Or maybe just explain what a VA loan actually is.
Yeah. So a VA loan is a loan that a veteran in service or out of service can utilize to buy a home, and it's a great benefit that the veteran should be able to take advantage of when they are buying a home. The benefits are you can bring $0 out of pocket. You can have zero mortgage insurance as part of your payment, which is on conventional loans when you put less than 20% down, or on all other government-funded loans.
Is that PMI?
Yes, PMI. Sorry,
Okay.
yes, mortgage insurance, PMI. So that can sometimes, depending on your credit score and different factors. I mean, I've seen fairly low more PMI, which is like less than $50 a month, but I've also seen it being $200-300 a month. So that in itself, and then obviously veterans do have a completely different rate sheet, so they generally get a better rate when they're using that program.
Do most of your vendors offer that, or is that just like a specific vendor that offers that?
Majority of our vendors have those, so we can still compete those or shop those and figure out who's got the best rate at the time on a given day and given time. But we love working with our veterans. They're also they're honestly the best customer to work with because they're so grateful. They're easy, they communicate well, but also we like working with them because obviously we're appreciative of what they've done for us. And we want to walk them through from step by step on what they need to do to get to the closing table, because a lot of times they've been through a lot and they're like, man, look, I want a home and I want to kind of start fresh and let's get things going. So it's fun to work with them.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about the magic ball of everybody's asking you this question. Where are rates going, man? I know in 30 days, could be a completely different question, but like people ask you that all the time, and I'm not asking for like a specific answer, but what do you think is going to happen? Because and I'll let you roll right into the next question is, there's probably a lot of people, because I know you guys do refinancing as well. Mm-hmm. They're probably waiting this game. We're like, when do I do this? It went down 1%. Is it going to go down more? Like walks an ignorant person through what the next couple of years looks like if you are waiting to buy a house or you want to refinance.
Okay, so first of all, if I did know what the stock market was going to do, or if I knew what rates were going to do, I'd be working in a really tall skyscraper.
You wouldn't be right here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be making a lot of money somewhere, and that would be really, really awesome. But if I'm going to give my personal opinion, I personally think things are going to get better. I don't know. Obviously, the election and who gets into office could play a part in how that escalates and how quickly that escalates. Currently, right now, just recently, the Fed's cut the rate by 0.5 point. That was more directed towards home equity lines of credit or auto loans. A lot of lenders had already priced that in, because when the Feds cut a rate and everybody sees an announcement on the news or social media about like the rates were cut, like a lot of lenders already forecasted that. They've been talking about that rate cut for a long time. So believe it or not, actually after that, rates got a little worse. But what I foresee and what I've been reading and the economists that I follow and like to trust, it shows that 2025 is going to be a strong real estate market. And if you bought a home in the last couple of years, refinancing for rate in term strictly is definitely something I think you need to keep an eye on. So definitely get with your loan officer, and that's not something you want to like see the rate come down and then go get set up for it. You want to have someone have your file ready to go, so when those rates hit, they can take advantage on a moment's notice. Yeah. But yeah, just to continue going in the refinance piece of that, if someone is out there, there's something called a blended rate as well. So if you're willing to refinance for just to lower your rate, that is something I think you may not want to wait and be a little more patient on. I think it's coming. As far as like other options, there are opportunities for people that maybe have a lot of credit card debt, maybe they have equity in their home that they can consolidate debt. So just because maybe the rate isn't there for your savings, there is other things to consider. it depends where you are financially, and if you have the ability to wait or not, that's fine. But you need to look at your overall blended rate from your car payment, your credit card debt, your mortgage, et cetera, and look at that, the whole picture. So once again, you need to get with a loan officer to kind of see if they can better that situation or not.
Yeah. So a lot of this podcast too is the local business spotlight. I don't know how well you can answer this because some people like to work with everybody, but what is the ideal client for Foundation? And then if there is, what is somebody who's like, Foundation Home Loans probably not for you? Like if you're in this situation, like what are those two? Like that way we can tell you like, hey, if you're in this situation, you need to call Ben, or, you know, if you're in this situation, it's probably not the right time or probably they're not fit for you.
Absolutely. So, and without sounding corny, everyone's a good person for us, really. Anyone at any point in the process. So we don't. One of the biggest compliments I had one recently was, "Hey, so and so bank I talked to, they just told me I was declined. I couldn't do it. So they just kind of shut the door on them. Said, sorry, we can't help you." We will never ever tell anyone that. We will always give you a yes, but it may not be a right now. So we have things in place and tools at our disposal to help people, and a partner as well at our disposal to help people get where they need to go. So if you already have a good credit score or the ability to put a down payment, et cetera, different things like that you need to have available depending on the loan program to get approved, great. We'll work with you right now. But if you have a lower credit score or there's other factors hurting you like collections or a bankruptcy, we have the tools to be able to tell you like, look, this is what you need to do over the next certain amount of period of time to get you ready to buy. So I've had borrowers I've worked with for years. Then we finally get to the closing table, and by then we feel like we're borderline family because we talk so much and trying to get them through those times. But yeah, I mean it's everyone. If you are wanting to buy a home, your goal is to buy a home, we can help you.
Is there any type of loans you don't do? Clearly, you're not a car. You can't get car loans and stuff. But like, is there any loans that you don't do?
We don't do commercial loans.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're looking to buy a primary residence or anything up to 4 units, then, we can help you. We do single wide, double wide manufactured homes as long as they're on a permanent foundation, which is, pretty easy to figure out through like a structural engineer report or inspection. Single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, condos, investment properties. We are currently licensed in Indiana, Kentucky, and in Florida. So if you're looking to buy a vacation home in Florida, we can help you with that too. That's
amazing. All right. Tell people, ending this podcast, what can they expect from Foundation Home Loan? If they follow you on social media, what should they be expecting? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of loan companies. What is different about you guys? Like, leave them with something like, we are Foundation Home Loans, and this is what you should know about us.
We're Foundation Home Loans, and we care about not just getting you into a home, but getting you the best possible deal possible. Getting you the best rate, getting the lowest closing cost, creating an experience that you will remember and think that was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And overall, we're going to continue to try to invest in our community. We have a focus on investing and trying to better different organizations. We've raised money for cystic fibrosis. This year we raised almost over $12,000 at the Golf Scramble that you all were nice enough to sponsor. Thank you very much. And we're going to continue to do other events. We try to do something every quarter. So hopefully you can see us in those events, and also, consider us for your future home mortgage. And outside of that, lean on us and let us be your expert.
Thanks for coming on today, Ben. Hey, you guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, click like and the bell so you know when we post. And as always, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.